Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either March 28th or 29th, 2023, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? I have way too many books that I want to tell you about in today's video, so I'm going to be doing things just slightly different to accommodate that, but more on that in just a second. Let's start off first by taking a look back at my pick from 2 weeks ago. And in fact, 2 weeks ago I had two picks kind of. I had a pick for me and I had a pick for you. Let's start off with the pick for you, which was No One, issue number 1. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile just one book pick? Well, I don't know because I didn't read it because I told you I wasn't going to. But the secondary market has spoken and it's going for about $15 to $20 on the secondary market. So apparently it was a worthy and worthwhile just one book pick, because if you picked it up for $4 or $5, however much it cost, you've just about tripled your money. So congratulations. I hope you took my advice and picked up that book. I wish I had taken my own advice on that one and bought at least one copy, but so it goes. My pick for myself from 2 weeks ago was Spy Superb, issue number 3. And was it a worthy and worthwhile just one book pick for me? Totally. I told you I've been enjoying Spy Superb, and issue number 3 was no exception. I really want it to be an action comedy movie. I think it would be just perfect. If you got the casting right, if you found the right person to play the roles, it would be so awesome, so entertaining, so hilarious. I have my hopes up for it, but as it stands right now, the comic book itself was fantastic. Highly recommended. Totally loved it. Sorry to see it over. Maybe we'll have more in the future. All right, let's go ahead now and move forward by taking a look at the books that are coming out this week. Now, the thing I'm going to do a little bit different this week, because I think I have 16 books I want to tell you about, is that I'm going to comment on them very little. For some of them, I'm going to say basically nothing. So let me just go ahead and jump right into it. I wanted you to know about all these books because there's some that just need to be on your radar. The first one is Waller vs. Wildstorm, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from DC Black Label. Here's the description. In the early 1980s, as the Cold War stubbornly refuses to thaw, a new battle heats up for the soul of the intelligence agency Checkmate. As the agency's superheroic public face, Jackson King, aka the Armored Battalion, former leader of Stormwatch and the symbol of American might, has long suspected that Adeline Kane is up to dirty tricks overseas, engineering horrors that betray everything he believes about service to one's country. But King doesn't know what Kane has King, Kane, has a clever new ally, an ambitious young woman named Amanda Waller. She has her own ideas about how metahumans can serve their country, and honor, dignity, and long lives don't factor into them. National security reporter Spencer Ackerman, a comics and video game writer Evan Narcisse, and veteran artist Jesus Moreno celebrate Wildstorm's legacy of espionage-flavored superhero morality plays, pitting Stormwatch against the deadliest people in the DCU, including Deathstroke himself. Okay, all I have to say about this is that if there were things in that description that kind of perked your ears up, if these are the kind of things that you're interested in, Wildstorm, Amanda Waller, Deathstroke, all of these different things, you might want to consider picking up this book this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Unstoppable Doom Patrol, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from DC. Here is the description. The world's strangest heroes are back in the DC universe. After the events of Lazarus Planet, more people than ever have active metagenes. Most of these new metahumans have become misfits, shunned and imprisoned by a fearful society. They are hidden away in the dark, lost to a system that only sees them as weapons or guinea pigs. Ticking time bombs that can only be defused by the unstoppable Doom Patrol. Robot Man, Elasti-Woman, and Negative Man are joined by their brand new teammates Beast Girl and Degenerate and led by Crazy Jane's mysterious new alter, the Chief, on a mission of saving the world by saving the monsters. All right, well, if you've been following, the whole Lazarus Planet thing, if you're a fan of DC Comics, that might be something for you to check out this week. The next book I want to mention to you is Songs for the Dead, Afterlife, issue number 1. This is from a publisher I can't tell right off the top of my head. Here's the description. Bethany is a necromancer and a hero. Along with her companions, Elisar and Jonas, she has finally found the rumored Covenant. Her perilous journey has brought her to the last bastion of the necromancers, but resurging prejudices have them in shambles. Can Bethany unite them in the face of escalating tensions, or will the coming war shatter all of their dreams for a peaceful future? Okay, sounds like it could be interesting. If you're interested in a bit of a fantasy adventure story, you might consider that book this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Sereno, issue number 1 of a 3-issue limited series. This is from CEX. I don't know who that is, but here's the description. Meet Sereno, the mystic master of light and guardian of New Teia, a city where magic and science intertwine by night. An avatar of collective paranoia, a shepherd of nightmares, and a cult of hate are all just the start of an evil conspiracy transforming the city. Can Sereno fight back while keeping Super Cat Burglar Ruffian from stealing his heart? Double-sized debut issue for only $5.99. Okay, well, this is a brand new character. That's interesting. The character's pretty cool looking. That's interesting. This reference to can Sereno fight back while keeping Super Cat Burglar Ruffian from stealing his heart sounds ridiculous. That part is such a turnoff for me. I don't... Let's not lead with the romance story between the hero and the bad guy. Let's discover that maybe through the process of telling an awesome story. But it's a new character who looks cool, should be on your radar. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is Ranger Stranger, Deep Cuts, issue number 1 from Scout Comics. Here's the description. Ranger Stranger is a gallows comedy set in majestic Hackensack National Park, a vast Bob Rossian world of woods and waters for the adventurous camper or hiker to enjoy. Unfortunately, everything from the wildflowers to the homicidal deer to the park official wants to murder you. So what's one to do? Light a candle, why don't you? Play some Johnny Mathis if you like, but play it low. You can't blast the Mathis, you psycho. Now move that candle right up against those oily rags. There creates an atmosphere, don't you think? You're all set. Dig in and get weird with our latest gift to you. Enjoy your visit, mature readers. Okay, well, this, as you can tell through my reading of the description, the giggling that I was doing from time to time speaks to, I think, what is interesting about this. It sounds campy, it sounds fun, it sounds silly, it sounds potentially violent and gory, potentially. Just the entire environment is looking to kill whoever is in it. That could be fun and entertaining for some people. If you're one of those people, I wanted it to be on your radar. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Miracle Kingdom, issue number 1 from Scout Comics. Here's the description. A forensic accountant investigates a showboating televangelist with dubious healing powers and quickly realizes that he may be dealing with the Michelangelo of scam artists when his miracles appear to be astonishingly convincing. Meanwhile, the accountant's true purpose is shrouded in a mystery of its own. Slightly absurd and playfully self-aware, Miracle Kingdom is a tongue-in-cheek look at the clandestine systems that impact our lives and considers how these systems can be challenged. Okay, similar to the last book, I appreciate the fact that it even spells it out right here. Slightly absurd and playfully self-aware. So that could be fun. That could be really entertaining. But it also looks at the clandestine systems that impact our lives and considers how these systems can be changed. So it sounds like it has a deeper social meaning as well there. So this could be fun as well as thought-provoking. That's interesting to me. If it sounds interesting to you, you might consider checking it out this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Granite State Punk. Issue number 1 from Scout Comics. Here's the description. Zeke has just gotten released from prison and is now living in the last place he ever wanted to be, his dead parents' house. For years, he tried to drown every ounce of the memories of this place and his messed up childhood. Zeke is now forced to confront it, and the revelation of his past is filled with the occult, punk rock, dark magic, and its connection to New Hampshire's most historic landmark, the Old Man of the Mountain. Okay, when I first looked at this, the cover was a bit of a turnoff. The art style of the cover is not really doing it for me. I could see it being very punky and working for that, but it's not really working for me. But the premise actually sounds kind of interesting. So if you are a punk rocker or a punk rocker at heart, and you want something that kind of leans into that lifestyle, I suppose, you might consider picking out Granite State Punk this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Don't Spit in the Wind, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Mad Cave Studios. Here's the description. One man's trash is another man's living. Since Earth became inhospitable, humanity escaped ages ago to live in a space station floating above the atmosphere. Now Travis and his crew of garbage men are tasked with cleaning up mountains of toxic waste, working for a company called Atomic Bros, Inc. to create a clear world. But when one of Travis's crew members goes missing near an old nuclear facility, Travis's job becomes a bit more complicated. All right, I have to admit, this book was almost my just one book pick for this week. It sounds kind of interesting to me, and I like the art style of these covers. So let's see. So the artist who did the interior did the cover of the A cover. The artist who did the inside did the A cover. So if you like the art style of the A cover, that's what's going to be inside. It's interesting to me. The premise sounds interesting. This sounds like it could have a lot of cool things going for it. So I absolutely had to put it on your radar. The next book I want to mention to you this week is Venom, Lethal Protector issue, 2, like part 2, like the sequel. It's issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Brock versus Doom. Enough said. Venom co-creator David Michelinie returns with a brand new story set in the sinister symbiote's past when Brains and Spider-Man were still on the menu. This time, he's uniting with rising star Farid Karami to weave an epic blockbuster story that will take Venom from the streets of New York City to the kingdom of Latveria, as Eddie Brock is challenged like never before. What or who will Venom need to overcome the fiercest foe in the Marvel U? Will Venom need to overcome the fiercest foe in Marvel U? One thing's for certain, the monster's bringing the mayhem. All right, you want to go back in time to a different era where Venom was a little bit more in the anti-hero genre, and he has to stop Doctor Doom? That sounds pretty cool. I don't know that there's going to be any spec there, but if you're a Venom fan, if you're a symbiote fan, symbiote, not symbiote. If you're a fan of any of those things, this book might be one for you this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Who is plotting to overthrow Jabba the Hutt? Jabba's Palace is one of many places to find the vilest of scum and villainy relaxing, wet their whistles, and indulge their vices. Who would ever want that to end? Well, Someone has Jabba in their sights, beginning a series of one-shots spotlighting the Return of the Jedi era. Mark Guggenheim and Alessandro Miracolo bring you a tale of Jabba's palace you won't soon forget. Okay, so just to reiterate, this is the first in a series of one-shots from the Return of the Jedi era, which is a little bit of a problem for me that they started with Jabba's palace, because Jabba, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Return of the Jedi, here comes a spoiler, Jabba dies very early in the Return of the Jedi. So calling something that takes place in his palace a story from the Return of the Jedi era is a little bit gray for me, but I'm not going to nitpick too much on that. Star Wars is awesome. This could be a very entertaining story if you're a fan of Jabba or this era of Star Wars. This is something for you to check out. The next book that I want to mention to you this week is a new book. It's called It's Jeff, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Jeff the Landshark stars in his own fantastic comic. Since his very first appearance, Jeff the Landshark has flooded our hearts like an adorable tidal wave. Now the ingenious, the extraordinary, the unbearably innocent Jeff embarks on his own adventures across the Marvel Universe. You thought it was safe doing laundry or going for a leisurely swim in the pool? But no activity can protect against Jeff's cuteness. Collecting the hit Infinity Comics series from the Marvel Unlimited app, this one-shot features a brand new cover and tale. We mean tale. Okay, it's a joke in written. A whole new tale, A-I-L. We mean tale, A-L-E. Okay. Why did I mention this book this week? Why are you asking? It's called It's Jeff. And I'm Jeff. And so I had to mention it. And that's just about it. If you have a kid that wants to read a comic book, or you want to turn on to comic books this week, steer them towards It's Jeff. It sounds like fun. The next book I want to mention to you this week is a new book. It is called Avengers Beyond, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Someone has been manipulating the Avengers for the past several months, altering the very fabric of reality in an attempt to prepare the planet for a threat that could destroy everything. Here, now, this unseen individual is to be dragged kicking and screaming from the shadows and into the light, and is revealed as the Beyonder. Something big is coming to the Marvel Universe. Okay, I think that Avengers stories are cool. The Marvel's universe has such amazing characters, and you put a group of them together in any kind of Avengers thing, and immediately I'm going to pay attention. This sounds like it could be a cool story. Of course they say something like something big is coming to the Marvel Universe. Well, does it just mean size, like the Beyonder, or being like gigantic or something like that? I don't know. But if you like Marvel Comics, if you like Marvel's characters, I wanted you to at least have Avengers Beyond on your radar this week. The next book I want to mention to you is Something is Killing the Children, issue number 30 from Boom Studios. Here's the description. Cutter's arrival makes saving Tribulation an even more desperate task for Erica. But it's do or die, because she's the only one who can keep Gabby safe. And even if she can save the town and make it out alive, she's still a rogue hunter, and the Order isn't known for their mercy. So this is the first book that I've mentioned so far in this video that I am going to buy this week, obviously, because you all know Something is Killing Children is my favorite comic book. I love it. The current story has really been working for me. I'm engaged. I'm interested. They kind of lost me a little bit during the issue 16 through 20 when they went into the origin. But these past 10 issues from 21 to 30 with this story with Cutter is really pretty cool and really pretty interesting to me. I love it. I highly recommend Something is Killing the Children. The next book I want to mention is Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 5 from Boom Studios. Here's the description. Maceo is determined to prove himself the only way he knows how, and his stubbornness brings Mezzi's ire. But the Wasteland Rangers prove too dangerous even for Mezzi, and Maceo will have to do more than a symbolic gesture if they want to make it out alive. Will love prevail? At least for a while? I mentioned this book because it's the second book that I am actually going to be buying this week. The last book I will be buying this week will be my Just One Book pick. I've really enjoyed Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, much more than I would have anticipated. I tried it out thinking, let me see what's going on here. With each issue, they give me new information, a new look, deeper and deeper into the world of this comic book. And with each deeper look, I become more and more engaged, more and more interested in seeing how the lives of these characters are going to play out. So I like it a lot. I'm absolutely picking it up. I highly recommend it for all of you. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Indigo Children, issue number 1 from Image Comics. Here's the description. Series premiere. Acclaimed creator Kurt Pyers returns to Image for a brand new ongoing series with the creative team behind the smash hit series Youth, soon to be a show on Amazon Prime. Radiant Black meets the Department of Truth in this action-packed sci-fi mystery epic as journalist Donovan Price hunts down the extraordinarily gifted Indigo Children after their mysterious disappearance 15 years prior. An extra-length first issue for the regular price of just $3.99. So this book could have also very well been my Just One Book pick of the week. They went and evoked the name of the Department of Truth. And I'm a big James Tynion IV fan, and I love the Department of Truth. So evoking that name immediately perked my ears up. But it sounds kind of interesting. The fact that they're hunting down extraordinarily gifted indigo children after their mysterious disappearance 15 years prior. I like the fact that there's a mystery. I like that there are these extraordinarily gifted children. And gifted how and in what ways? And how does that play out? There's a lot of interesting things going on here. Not to mention the fact that this is from a creative team that brought the smash hit series Youth, which I admit I've never heard of. But that doesn't necessarily mean that lots and lots and lots of other people haven't heard of it. But the fact that Youth is soon to be a show on Amazon Prime means that these people are connected in a way because they're getting a show made already, which means that they have a way to get their stuff seen to be considered for future shows. So this is a book that I think is worth having on your radar. And if you want to take a flyer on this, Indigo Children might be worth checking out, as well as Don't Spit in the Wind, I believe it was called. All right, we got through all of our honorable mentions. Now we are on to our Just One Book pick of the week. And that book is Ambassadors, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Image Comics. Here's the description. The most ambitious comic book of all time is finally here. Imagine you could gift superpowers to 6 people. In a world of 8 billion, who do you choose? Join 6 of the greatest artists in the industry for an enormous story about ordinary people from around the world explaining why it should be them. This first story features artwork by superstar Frank Quitely. So, I don't know exactly why I picked this one as my Just One Book pick this week. It could have very easily, like I said, been Don't Spit in the Wind, or especially probably Indigo Children. But I picked this one because it sounds like it could be pretty interesting. It's from writer Mark Millar, who does good work. He is writing all 6 of these issues, but each issue is being drawn by different artists. And I tried to see if I could find some information about exactly who those artists might be, but I couldn't. I didn't do a ton of research, admittedly. So I don't want to start giving you bad information. But it's just kind of an interesting, kind of cool idea. Now, it's a major turnoff for me that this description starts with the most ambitious comic book of all time is finally here. Like, why is it so ambitious? Like, tell me why it's so ambitious. Is it so ambitious because it's one writer and 6 different artists? That doesn't sound particularly ambitious to me. Does the premise sound particularly ambitious? No. But I'm going to try to forgive them that. But it does sound like an interesting story. It's not necessarily about people with superpowers. It's about people who want to have superpowers, and the different, the different, I guess, countries probably, who have to find somebody to represent them. I don't know. There's just, like I said, I don't know exactly why I picked this book this week. There's just something about it that piques my interest. But there's also something about indigo children that piques my interest as well. So actually, through talking about it right now, live, you're seeing it happen. I'm thinking I might pick up Indigo Children as well. That does sound pretty cool and pretty interesting. And for both of these books, I think that they are just books that you just pick up. You read if you like, you keep buying it. If you don't like it, just file it away and hope that something magic happens with it. But this, The Ambassadors, does sound interesting, and that is why it is my just one book pick for this week. Okay, that's it. I don't know how long this has taken, but I hope we got through it fairly quickly. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all of this. Likes are appreciated by me, so hit that like button. Leave any comments that you feel you would like to leave. I'm going to be better about responding to them, I promise. I promise. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. That would be great. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.